Women Matters in March 2026. We are here again in many different countries. Italy is missing this time. I'm in England. And then Monja in Austria, Gertraud in Germany, Gina in Canada, and Hanneli in South Africa. America is missing. Oh,
Oh, we're part of North America. We can just say North America if you want. But
but normally we have an affluence of California, no? This is
mm,
missing today. Okay, so
And
short check-in.
Oregon.
Huh?
And Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monja, you are always the first in the room. You have the precedence, and then you give over.
Okay. Well, I'm the first because I have the timer set, and that's why I just open, and it's easy to get in. So, yeah, no problem there. The weather report is we have nice spring weather, and I can't wait for the leaves to come out, but it's still, I'm too impatient. But it's every spring the same, and it takes about another 2 weeks now or 3 even. But I buy flowers, and I bought Märzenbecher. What is it? Daffodils? Yeah. And yeah, they're just so beautiful to watch. It's every day there are some more flowers blooming. And we had Sahara dust, which means that the sunsets are beautiful, but there is a lot of sand in the air. And our trees, they are pollinating now, and it's amazing when the wind goes. You just look outside and you can't have the laundry outside anymore because it would be all dusty. So that's Vienna right now, and lots of people are visiting Vienna, and Schönbrunn Park is just filled with people milling around, and it's so desolate because there are there's no green. It's just the trees, and but people, yeah, they're just. We have an Easter market, of course, where you can buy very expensive Easter eggs. That's about, yeah, that's about my statement. I pass on to Gina. She's next to me.
good morning, everyone. Calling you from Victoria, where we do have undulating weather, so nice and warm on the weekend and quite chilly this morning. My car says beware of ice because it's a bit of a nanny car. We have cherry blossoms and we have tulips up but not blooming yet. And forsythia in bloom and camellias in bloom, so we're happy there. In terms of how things here, I'm pretty excited because in terms of my research, I was able to have my first interview with a woman last week, and I now have this morning made another interview and then another one on Wednesday. So I'm quite excited that people are responding, and sometimes you have to be patient and wait for a bit because it's just a poster to get their attention. It's not an in-person meeting, but it's nice to have the calls coming in, and it's more invigorating to do your research when you're actually doing it versus writing about it. So that's my happy moment. And I will turn it over to Gertrude.
Yeah, thank you. Here, I mean, the sun is coming out, the light is longer, and so it feels, yeah, just, and of course the trees are not in green yet, but I think it's a matter of light, and yeah, I'm pretty tired, not only today but like recently. And yeah, it's not so much going on at the moment. I'm pretty occupied with my health after the accident in my hip and things like that, old ladies stuff. And but I got some new clients, so that's skipping along my life. Yeah, there's some nice things happening, but pretty quiet at the moment. And I got an invitation. I'm going to turn 70 in May, and my 3 girls with their whole family and my sister and 1 or 2 brothers will be coming in to this is like a farm or something where the kids can play, and they invited us to be there for a whole weekend. So the whole clan is coming, and I thought that was a really nice idea. So I'm going to celebrate my 70th birthday. I'm not such a birthday girl, but that's a very nice idea of my daughters. Yep, that's the latest news here. Hanili,
That's
long have
amazing.
no seen.
That's amazing, Gertrude. Yeah, 2 weeks ago I wanted to come, but we had a crisis with my daughter's dog. He went to the daycare and he came back with fleas, and we had to sort him out first. So it was like a little bit chaotic, so I missed the call. But yeah, we have got very interesting weather. We have got extremely cold weather and then suddenly a heat wave. So currently we have a really hot heat wave. So during the day, it's too hot to go outside. Yeah, it's interesting weather, and I'm not looking forward to winter. So when you girls are speaking about spring, I just like, oh, I wish I want to be there, because I'm more a summer person. And yes, with us, we can see it's autumn. The leaves are coming down, and the different shades of the greens and the browns and yellows. And you can also see the sun has shifted, and it becomes light later. So my body's very attuned to the sun. So I wake up with the sun usually. So suddenly there's this shift. So I'm feeling it as well. Something is going on that's different. And generally, I sense a lot of what's happening in the world around us, on different levels. Not because I want to, I'm just feeling it in my body. And yeah, so it is what it is, basically. But Gertrude, that's amazing with your 70th to have something like that. For my 65th birthday this year, I said to my daughter we should take the train up from Cape Town to Dar es Salaam to Tanzania. It's a beautiful journey. It's just very expensive, but it's a wonderful journey. You go through the whole of all these Central African countries. So we'll still see how that plans out. But yeah. Thank you. I'm complete. I'm passing to you, Heidi.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm here in England looking on a lot of houses, low houses, and behind is a school with a training football, no, I don't know what, a lawn, a sports field. I think that's the right name. I have taken on the challenge to drive on the left side, and I'm quite good in it now, but it was really at the beginning, you know. But I'm quite confident with it now. I'm here a week now. I came last Tuesday, and today is Monday. We stay other 2 weeks, and then we are preparing Marcus transloco in Italian move to Italy. So getting the documents ready, what you need, because the UK is not Europe anymore. So they are considered strangers. And there are quite uncomfortable regulations. Anyway, I enjoy it here, apart from I'm missing my garden, I'm missing my, and the worms I'm missing. Oh, but by the way, the nice thing here is I went through little streets around here, almost everywhere daffodils in masses, thousands along the hedges, along the houses, everywhere. Some you go and then there is a half a meter of just coming out somewhere, the daffodils. That's amazing. I mean, in my garden, for instance, I've put them in certain places, but here it seems to be wild almost. Huh? And it's really nice. And also, they say it's cherry trees. They have pink flowers, and the Weißdorn, what is Weißdorn? Hawthorn, something, is white. Sometimes you go, drive along these huge wide streets with with roundabouts all around. I hate these roundabouts. Anyway, and then it's about a kilometer of white hedges right and left. This is really amazing. Altogether, for me, it's too cold. I I like it better at home. But it's nice to stay here, to be with Marcus and to prepare the future. I'm also tired often because it's quite tiring to first to go to processes of all sorts of things and then to adapt. And at the beginning from the airport to here, driving the first time really long, an hour and a half. That was challenging, but I made it. So I did it somehow also for real. I wanted to prove myself that I'm not yet old, so that I can still learn a little bit. So, what will be the topic today? Old doesn't mean tired, and tired doesn't mean old. 70 birthday doesn't mean old. 65, even less. Gina, you?
Well, I'm just sort of laughing because I think Christine's topic for next week is more in that line about how do we feel about aging. And I actually saw another article recently that said people don't like this when you say it, but aging backwards, people who actually decide to invest in their own health and energy apparently do become somewhat younger. Now, there's all sorts of physical things you can't control, but it's possible. In terms of a topic, I don't know if we've already done this, but I've been asked to do something rather unusual. And I've been asked to speak on terms of what does being present mean? And I don't know if this interests anybody, but in terms of being present with the self, being present for others, and being present in the world. And I'm like, why am I struggling to talk about that in terms of life? Like, have we covered this enough that that's not our topic? Maybe we should just talk about being tired. But I don't know. I find it interesting that I'm putting too much time into thinking about what do these three versions of being present really mean? And I'm being asked to do that in the context of my own life, so my life experiences. And I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure the answer to the question.
We
But
can do a collection of what we understand about being present. I think
yeah,
that's a good idea.
it'll help because I wake up at 3:30 wondering what I'm going to say. And I'm very present at 3:30 in the morning.
Being present to myself, I can say something to that because I'm realizing I have for a long time shoulder pain. And now and lately, I realize as soon as I'm not present with it, I'm doing this, it's up. So then I present again and say, come on, come down, relax, da, 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 da. But it's difficult to be present in this sense to the whole body. I can do it when I'm really getting concentrated, lying in bed and start with the feet and go up and da 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 da. And then it might happen that I can be present to my whole body and feel the relaxation which is coming with it. But it's work. so far to me.
And I
Gina,
guess the other question I would put out there is, have we always been as present? Are we more present now? Like, is there a transition? Is there times when is it a maturity thing? So I have questions.
Go ahead, Hanneli.
yeah, Gina, because what I just said earlier about being present to what's happening in the world, I realize more and more just for myself, the moment I identify with anything of it, then I'm not present. So I can't perceive what's really going on because I'm identifying with it or as it. So immediately I block or everything else that might be emerging along the way because I focus on that, my awareness onto that. For myself, your question about are we more present now than before? I do sense from my personal point of view, yes. There's definitely something happening with my awareness every single day that there's something more coming into my awareness and when I'm present to it, I can feel it in my body. I can feel where my awareness is in my body personally. So I can feel it. It's either my feet or my legs or my stomach, or my shoulders or my head. But what I've been doing lately as well, because I can easily go off on somewhere else, easily for me to do that, is to focus my awareness on my feet. So that when I'm then present, it's grounded, it's more grounded awareness than all over the place all at once. I don't feel fragmented when that happens personally, but I'm aware of it, like it's behind me, it's in front of me, it's around me. Whereas when my awareness is in my feet, it's something else is happening. So it's like there's a visceral experience that's different from whatever is busy happening around me or with the people close to me in the space that I am. So I think there's definitely something happening that has transformed how we are present. I can't tell you what it exactly is, but I can just personally sense it, that there's another quality to it. It's like there's another layer that wasn't there before, perhaps.
Yeah, thank you, Anneli. I came to the conclusion that I cannot not be present. So it's like everything happens now, no matter where my mind is. And when talking about being present, I think it's more my awareness, my mind being here, not so much because I think there is no other thing than the present moment. And so that helps me often to say, okay, wherever your mind goes, there is no other way than to come back to the present moment. So that was an insight some time ago, and a helpful one. So I think it's more the question what my mind is occupied with, or dealing with my husband's illness. I could easily go into worries and anxiousness and I don't know what, but it felt like it is like it is, and I might as well stay here and look what's necessary at the moment and what needs to be done. And then there were some friends coming to visit, and they were astonished because they knew other friends that were like very much occupied with the prognosis and with all the anxiousness. And it's not that there is no fear. I mean, the cancer hasn't gone. It's still there. But like to capture me and my whole being with this. And I think the stress was more on the cellular level. So I don't know what you see, but when I look into the mirror, I feel older than last year. So I think on a cellular level, there was a lot happening, and maybe there's the oxidative stress is there, and undoubtedly, but yeah, I'm thinking of my mom when she passed. So the last sentence I heard her say was when she had a stenosis. So the aorta was not 4 centimeters in diameter, but 0.4. So she had a stroke and she had 2 heart attacks, and she had such a hard time to breathe. And I said, Mom, what can I do? And then she came down and could breathe again. And then she said, oh, it is like it is. And that's how she left. I mean, it was like, and when my mind is here, I can act more precisely or better according to what's happening than just wander off. And I know that I had a conversation with somebody, and it was really hard, and so I had somebody to help me and did an instant change session with me. And before, my heart was pumping here, and everything was going somewhere, and I couldn't do there was no center, nothing. And after that session, I was present. I could say what I wanted to say, and so bring my mind back to the present moment, because there is no other, something like that. And when they are coming together, I'm able to act according to life, not to my fears. And when I had the accident, it was very. So I was sitting there in the car before the shock came in. I was sitting there and said, "Okay, breathe," and then I did some of my the exercises that I showed you, and then then it took over, but it was really like, okay, I'm now in the field. So car is done. And then I had too much adrenaline in my body, so it took over, but yeah.
Well, actually, I was, it's exactly my point, Gertraud mentioned. It's the breath. To be present, for me, is always connected with my breath. When I know how I breathe, I'm present. And I just read a book by Sheldrake, Going Beyond, which is quite interesting. And he speaks of the Holy Trinity. And of course, there is the Father, the basic, then the Logos, the Son, the form, and Spirit. And Spirit is breath. and it's also energy, and it's the Shakti. So all these terms we use. But being alive means to breathe. And if you don't breathe, you're probably dead. So breathing has always been a major exercise for me. And right now, at my old age, I'm doing it. Not thinking, not doing, just being. And being is being present. So there is no other way to be than to be present. And this is probably now the exercise I've been doing. Exercise. It's the way of being for the past couple of weeks, months, maybe a year already. And as Gertrud mentioned, you stop worrying. You do what is necessary. And this is quite a lot for me as well, because my husband is slowly getting older and older and weaker. And I do what is necessary. And then in the meantime, I when I walk, I do exercise walking, lifting the foot. I've been doing that also a very long time. And I've been also saying a prayer now, because Sheldrake also mentions praying as connecting with what is beyond your mind. And the prayer is to my guardian angel, and I I learned it as a child, and in German, of course. I'm trying now to translate it. But it said, in the original version, it said, keep us away from sin. And I know that it's much more important now at my age not to be away from sin, whatever sin is, but not to be dizzy. Keep me away. So I've changed that prayer, als ich dir empfohlen sein, halte mich von Schwindel frei, keep away dizziness. And so far it works. So that's my prayer now, my childhood prayer version for old age. Yeah, that's about, and I was very, of course, you are always very satisfied when you are confirmed with what you're thinking, but about the Holy Spirit, which is feminine in most traditions. So that's life. Breathing is feminine, and it's life. And it helps you be present.
So, Gina, for your question, has it changed? I think it might be the quality of the time, which is making us more. Now, I hesitate to say present, because in some way, present for me and awareness and consciousness, they are somehow interrelated. One thing is the quality of the time. The other thing is, I think, getting more, growing up a little bit more. I often end up asking myself, did I feel these things before? 10 years ago, was I aware of certain physical things or whatever, or also thoughts? And yes, I think it is changing and is increasing, at least in my case. I think people as well can decide not to want to to be more present, and then they are not. I mean, but I have decided I want to become more conscious, and I find it not so easy, I have to say, because sometimes I think, oh, it would be so nice to just sleep and, be happy in the sun and something like that, for longer than 10 minutes or 15 minutes. But it doesn't seem to be the case. So not yet. Maybe it comes. Who knows? Gina, is this okay? Did you find some inspiration?
Yeah, thank you. And Hadley, I have to say, one of the things that, because this challenge, and I'm calling it a challenge because it's clearly challenging me, but being present in the world, and I'm just finding, like you mentioned, I don't know if I can be truly present in the world. Um, what I can be is, yes, I can be aware. Um, and I know at some point I've joined meditation classes where we're bringing healing energy to the entire planet and we're focusing on sending out healing energy. And I'm like, okay, that's one thing, but there's so much, I just don't know if that's, I guess I'm challenging that, but I stay informed. So is informed and awareness the same thing? I'm informed because I think this world is complicated, and I think you have to know what's going on in this world because it's affecting us in so many ways, definitely not positive. But I came to the conclusion that I can be aware, but I don't know if I can be present in the world. So I came to the conclusion I can only be present in myself or present with someone else, and that was considered the community. So I can be, but it's on a very small level. And so if my small level is enough, then okay. But even though I come from a enterprise architecture systems view where you have to keep track of everything, I'm like, actually, I can really only be present in this little tiny space, either by myself or with who I'm at the time. And because that I can, as you were talking about, control and focus. And the other thing that popped up for you this morning is what it's like to have a conversation with somebody who's not present. And um, there's my friends are across Canada, and I'm like, if you call me and you're doing your housework at the same time, I don't think you're present. Because then they start talking to the dog or something else. And I'm like, if you're going to call me, you should actually be present with me. And I think that's one thing that I learned over time is that if I was thinking too far ahead, like the next thing versus the thing now, then I would miss the things that are now. And later I would go, oh, there was a clue and I missed it. I didn't pick up. I wasn't present with that person. Um, and I was also reminded at one point that um, I don't know if it's just Canadian culture, but in Canada, you say, "Hi, how are you? I'm fine." And we never expect to continue the conversation. One of the things I was taught about or believe about European system, if somebody says, "How are you?" You actually have therefore opened the door to hear what they have to say versus "I'm fine." And so that little lesson along life helped me be more present with other people, but it's just an interesting thing. I think I gain a I gain a better uh, understanding. I think I have less regrets if I'm present, I guess, because I don't want to miss something. And I think it's just opening up. And I can feel the difference between when when I'm thinking about school and how distracting that can be. And I'm like, no, your whole like the intuition and the peacefulness, and I can feel the difference between when my intuition's working and not, because if I'm present, it's pretty good. If I'm not, it's like there's too many channels on at the same time. So yeah, I think it is interesting. I think I'm becoming more present with time. And I think it's because I've learned the loss of when you're not present, which you lose out on something.
You said something about you cannot be present to the world and you get informed and everything. I think we can't, because it's so many layers of what is going, and what you hear is maybe this and all the rest. So I think, for me, I think we can be energetically present, but not to what is going on. And also to oneself and the surrounding. I mean, we have a limited span of attention, and multitasking we are quite good in, but being present to many, many things at the same time, difficult. I think the only thing, that's my experience, I can be present when I really am going into myself, to my body, and to my that's not only body, to let's say myself, and feel it as a whole. That I can do, and maybe connect to somebody else, a limited amount of other beings, or but one at a time, I would say. It's the whole presence. I don't think it's possible, at least not with the mental abilities we have at the present moment of human development. Maybe later. They say we use only 10% of what we could use. I don't know. Maybe when we meet again in about 30 lives, then it might be different.
I don't think it's healthy to be present to everything that's happening in the world. I think we have a system of a protection system as human beings to have like boundaries towards specific people. I mean, it's like, it's not against other people, but like to be in your heart, and your heart is 5,000 times more potent than our brain. And if we expand our heart, so it's vice versa to what you think, you have to shut up and close your heart. I think when you expand your heart, you are more protected than when you shut it up. But I think there is a healthy way of not letting everything mess around in your energy field. So as our ears, they select what you hear, like you know your baby crying, and you can distinguish that from another baby crying, even if they're in the same room, or the voice of somebody you want to hear. So I think we have a healthy system to not to be forced to be present with everything that's happening. I think people like with autism or ADHS or so, they suffer from that, or hypersensitive people. So I allow myself not to be present with each and everything that's happening. And to be informed is good, so not to completely, but I don't want to be present with what's going on in Mr. Trump's head, or I can decide what's healthy for me and exclude others or other things, and have natural and boundaries. And this is more like compassionate boundaries. So it's nothing against you, but keep out of you don't trample over my tulips in the foregarden. So, or you don't just come into my house no matter what and mess around here. So I think that I don't want to be present to everything.
Well, I agree with you, and there is a filter. We have a filter that saves us. Because if you think about that, because I read it just today and it keeps me really smiling all the time. The Earth is hurtling around the sun at 30 kilometers per second. So we are just going through, we don't notice it. And it's a fact. It's a fact that the Earth is hurtling around like mad, in our opinion, and we don't notice it. So this is a kind of not necessarily being present of this awareness that the Earth is hurtling around, because looking outside, it's just quite calm. And another thing, I have been reading Molinsky for the last couple of weeks, and he has this question, this exercise, who is thinking that thought you are thinking right now?
Who is thinking?
Who is thinking this thought?
Yeah, okay.
And then you say me, and then he asks, who am I? And usually when you ask, who am I, there is a slight pause. And this pause is all the possibilities that are possible. And so this is an exercise I'm doing now as well. And it's quite fascinating. But it always ends up in my breath. So that's where I end up.
You remind me of I think, therefore I am. And then if I purposely breathe, I am present. So yeah.
When we worked with businesses or leaders or so, then we copied that from somebody else. I don't recall his name. So when we come together, it's so 3 people together, or not more than 4, and one gets 3 minutes to say, who am I and what I'm here for? And then the others reflect in an appreciative way what they heard. So I heard you say this, and or it touched me when you said that. And then you do that over the weekend, like the whole, and after every bigger break, like the meal break, you come together in another formation and ask and have that same question. And the interesting thing is Friday morning, it's like, yeah, I'm a CEO of, I'm, and during the weekend, it shifts towards purpose and deeper longing and more like, who is that person? And sometimes people just don't speak. They just take the 3 minutes to just breathe. And at the beginning, they are really more in their heads, and then slowly shifting. But I love those questions. I mean, they are very similar to what Monia said.
So we asked the question because we have 15 minutes, but we could do a little bit of just either going around or just put in what you think, who you are at the moment. Who is this entity?
Who am I and what I'm here for? Yeah.
Yeah. I have to say, I asked this question. I'm starting to write poetry, and about a week ago, it was just this: who is that who is living this? And sometimes I think oh, that's me, yeah. And sometimes I think, without saying anything, in Italy, you say, boh.
Just reminded of one colleague who said, I'm here to bring heaven on earth. Not right the first time, but, and everybody was like, whoa. But he said that in such a, I mean, you really believed him.
I actually believe I'm here not to bring heaven on earth, but let's say to bring peace on earth.
I'm here to bring smiles back on earth.
I'm going to try. Sorry, I had to slip away for a second. We have some people working in the house. When I think of who I am, I think of I am this very young spirit who hasn't been around many times. And I think in terms of what is your self-importance in this world. And I do, Monia, all the time think about, but the world is spinning and we're hurtling through space. So this moment isn't an eternity, well, at least not in the physical form. And I'm like, so nothing should really be so immense when every moment is so small compared to the whole universe. And the universe is expanding, as we know. And I'm like, yeah, so don't just lighten up a bit, be kind, make the best of it. But who I am, I think I'm still this very young, learning spirit. I feel people accidentally call me kid all the time. And I'm like, how come everybody calls me kid? And then these women that are calling me to be interviewed, they go, you sound so young. And I'm like, okay, well, wait till you see me. I'm older than my professors, but I don't know. To me, I've always had that awareness of like fractals of cells on leaves and little pieces. So if one cell on a piece of grass am I like a cell in the piece of the universe? And so yeah, that's how I think of just temporarily in this body and learning how to be human.
For me, what comes up is more and more that my being and my listening, to make a difference in the world, a positive, like almost like a catalyst, or so, because I'm here, something good happens. So that's my, for a pretty long time, it was like being source of appreciation for people and organizations. And this like melted together from that doing more, from like, if I really take the place, I'm here not to teach people or to bring something to a specific thing. It's more, that people through my being, that something is shifting for them to the better. So that's what comes up. And even that is not specific. It's more what they need and what they want and how they want it. So it's more.
What comes up for me is with these types of questions, when you ask it in this moment, every time there's a different answer. And what comes up now, and it doesn't make any sense, is I'm undefinable. And I feel it in my heart now as I say that. Mm. May I share something that happened recently with me, relating to your question, Gina, about being present to the world? A dear friend of mine she's got brain cancer, and it's really terminal now, nothing helps anymore. So her brother and she decided, instead of her one day having a funeral, she wanted all her loved ones and family, because some of them live quite far in other countries as well, to come and spend time with her while she's still with it, while she can still recognize everybody and so on. So they made turns for different groups of people to come and visit her. And we went together with some of her other friends, which we didn't know. We knew some of them, but not good, not well. And I went there under knowing that I'm quite, I'm very sensitive. I pick up energies very quickly. I went then with it, knowing that I'll have to have my boundaries because of what's the situation. In a small place, it's not a big place. All these people and her, and she was really, very tiny. She lost a lot of weight. And sitting next to her, I was just present with her. I was aware of the other people in the room, but for the first time, I didn't worry about them. It was very interesting because usually, I would pick up all their energies as well. My daughter is the same. My daughter did exactly what I did, because on our way there, we decided to do that. But it was most beautiful. But I realized something happened in me as I was with her, sitting next to her, holding her hand, that I could sense more about her. I could be more present to her because I was cutting the others off. And when we left, there was this, literally like you're pulling a plug of grasping energy because of situation being sad and also joyful, because it was quite joyful, lots of laughter. It wasn't sad in that sense, but you felt the sadness because you don't want her to suffer. But that energy plug, it was an incredible feeling in my body to know that I have the power to put out that boundary and still be present to what matters most. So when we speak about being present to the world, for me, it's a conscious choice to be present to what matters most for me, where I can bring my contribution, and the rest I can't do much about. And like you said, I don't want to be in somebody else's head. But I can focus my attention, my awareness on what I want to bring more of into the world. And that's, for me, good enough.
Gina, you have brought up the topic. Would you like to wrap up for us?
I think what I appreciate most is, Hanley, first of all, thank you for sharing that intimate moment. But I think the conclusion is, as Hanley said, we're undefinable. And I think that with that, it's something that gives us a lot of freedom to be whoever we are in that moment or whenever the next moment. But so I appreciate the conversation, and I hope that as we go through the next day and the next day, that every now and then we think about, am I present? How am I doing? Yeah. So thank you all.
Yeah, thank you also for giving us the topic. I continue. Hanneli, I find it so remarkable to what you shared, to just be present with the person in this situation. I think that is so much more than talking. I'm slowly learning that talking is not the main thing. So,
Yep.
thank you for still talking, because the whole hour sitting only together and not saying anything wouldn't be so. But when we are in real presence, we might even pass an hour without talking, you know. That's my conclusion. Monia, you want to say, do a checkout?
I'm just
Waving goodbye.
Okay.
undefinable.
So let's be present to the important things in our lives. And come back in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Bye-bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.